video, we're going to go over SpyBug, which is in the web challenges for Cyber Apocalypse Hack the Boxes 2023 Capture the Flag. Looking at it, so there's some files and a Docker container we need to try to hack into the portal. So with that, this is what I have it running locally. So this is what we're given, a username and password. And basically not much else to go off of. So we'll take a look at the files that were provided. This is the main file. It pulls in a bunch of utilities and some roots. It's linking to our upload folder here as a static path, so you can reference it, and then similar to static resources here. Taking this session secret that we saw in the Docker container and using that as the session secret. What's interesting to note is the content security policy here. It is only allowing scripts to be loaded from itself. So there's no unsafe inline here, which means, so that's if we're trying to do cross-site scripting, we'll have to actually upload a script probably to this upload folder. So those might tie together. It's using Pug as a view engine, and then it's just setting a couple routes. And then it also creates an admin, and then it'll create an admin, which essentially just inserts the admin with the admin environment variable as a password into the database, and then it will visit the panel. So visiting the panel just launches a Puppeteer instance, and it looks like it types the word add its username and password onto that login page, and then logs in, and then waits 5 seconds. So something throughout this process that probably on the page after it's logged into, we need to be able to execute some JavaScript. So that's the index, the database. It's pretty well set up at using SQLi, so there's not a lot of opportunity for SQL injection. Looked at the admin bot. In JavaScript, there's nothing too fancy. In the roots, there's agents. It's using a library called multer, which is for multi. So it provides several methods for generating middleware that will process files uploaded in a multi-form data format. We have some storage options here. So file name will determine the name of the uploaded file. If nothing is passed, it will generate a 32 pseudo-random hex string with no extension. So it's kind of here, it's doing a UUID. I don't know if that'd be similar. Then we have destination, which is determines the destination path of files to be uploaded. If a string is passed, that does not exist, it will attempt to create it recursively. So it's going to uploads, which does exist here. Next, we have some multi being created. So storage, I think, is related to this. So that's some options there. Then we have file filter. It's an optional function to control which files are uploaded. This is called for every file that is processed. So here, it's going to check for the MIME type of the file as audio wave, and that the original name is the name of the file on the uploader's computer, ends in a .wave. If it passes these conditions, it will call back as true, otherwise call back as false. So that's kind of how that library works. We have a root here to register an agent. It's going to call register agent, which doesn't do any validations. Essentially, it'll just generate a ID and token, create it, and then return it to you. So once you have an identifier and token, you can then make sure that it's alive. You can post some details with it, those details being hostname, platform, and architecture. One thing we skipped over was the views. So if I go into the views here, it's using Pug Engine. It's standard header, standard login. On the panel page, we're inputting some data, so we have a username data, and then agent and hostname. So one thing that's interesting is this bang here. This essentially allows for unsafe or unescaped HTML characters, so we can use this to our advantage when trying to craft the cross-site scripting. So this tells me we have to, it's probably, these values are important to solving this. So this is going to be an important part. Essentially, it takes the platform, hostname, and architecture, and it just updates the details here, and there's no validation or anything happening for the input. So That's good to know. And then the last one here is upload. We have a upload endpoint, takes the identifier and token. It's expecting it to be on the recording form field. If no file is generated by the multer upload, then yeah, so this is multer file. So if no file is created, then it returns a 400. If a file has been uploaded, then it also does a bit of a check. So it's going to grab it, it's going to read it from the file system, and it's going to try to match. It's going to try to look for this regex inside that file. If it doesn't find it, it will delete it and return a 400. If we pass this check, then we have uploaded it. So let's just take a look at what this regex is. And so it's going to essentially, we're trying to find a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So we have a match. And I think as long as it's anywhere in the file, this regex will pass. So and then once we have that, then it basically sets it as a recording. So I know it returns the file name. So that's the agent root. Generic is just your redirects the panel on the index. The panel root, so we get the panel, we check if the user is logged in, go to auth user. So if the user is logged in, then it redirects. If it's not logged in, you have to go back to the panel to log in. If you are logged in, then what it's going to do is if you're an admin, it will set the flag as the username, which gets put into here. So we have to, so our cross-site scripting needs to grab the contents of the page to grab the flag. Then it will load some agents and load some recordings. And there's a log out and log in. Okay. And then by logging in, you enter a username and password. And this is pretty standard. There's nothing vulnerable here from what I can tell. Okay. So after reviewing the source code, my hypothesis or initial kind of thinking was need to bypass the way we upload files and to be able to upload a file that could be interpreted as JavaScript and then load that via cross-site scripting by setting the agent details of either hostname or platform to script and source it from the upload folder instead of right now we have it sourcing only this one JavaScript file. So that's the threat and that's kind of the vector to be able to land to getting the flag. So with that, let's go back to our agents root and let's start going through these endpoints. So first thing is we want to register an agent. So I go to my history here and let's just go send this. Do I have it in the repeater? I already do. Okay, so we have a register agents and we want to do localhost 123.7. So we'll register an agent, agent.get, and we're given an identifier and a token. So with that, we can then post some details, but we don't know what just yet. So let's focus on the upload. And we want to upload something which has this inside of it. So if I go back to my regex, this was the regex that it needs to have. Let's just go to CyberChef. So from X, and I don't really like those characters, so we want to change that up a bit. I don't like that character either. 30, okay, 30 is 0, 40 is at, 50 is P, so 50, 50, 50, 50. So this, let's just double check that it still matches. Yeah, it still matches the regex. And so now we have something that's kind of human readable as well. So as long as it has this, inside the file contents, we should be okay. So what we're going to want to do is send a multipart file upload. So I think I have it here, but okay, let's just recreate it. Fun. So we have, let's see, we want to make this a post method, and we need to upload an identifier and token. So agent upload this identifier and this token. Okay, so content type is going to be multi-part form data, and we need to provide a boundary. So boundary will equal, and then set the boundary and the content. This position should be form data. Name, this is, we want to upload a recording, and a file name, any.wave. So then we have that, and then we need to do the content type because we need to split this as well. It should be audio-wave, and we can put our riff before wave equals HTTP. So we're going to make this JavaScript. Localhost, we'll try to make it hit our server to start. And then why don't I through? We want to fetch ref 1, 2, 3, 4 wave plus window dot base to ASCII, or is it ASCII to base? No. We want this to be contents of the window, so document dot body dot HTML, and I'm just going to make sure that this works in the console here. That, and this should give us error, but it did try to fetch some content. So with that, why don't we set up a listener in our server here. So listening on port 8000. So we have that. Do this so it's proper JavaScript, and then put the boundary and end it, I think, is all that we need to do. So I think burp will handle the content length. Let's see if this will work. Cool. So it did, and it accepted it. This is our file here. We can check to see if it loads. Let's put proxy on. These uploads, right? Yeah, uploads. And it downloaded because it treated it as a wave. That's okay. So, but it's there, it's working. Kind of see this is safe browsing. So This is something else. Just drop that. So we were able to download it. So let's see if it loads as JavaScript. Go back to our repeater. So we have this file here. We now need to just going to copy that, and we want to set this back to 1331. So we're going to post. Now we want to do details identifier, and we need this to be application JSON. Host name, we'll do script source equals uploads. We'll upload something like that. Script source equals uploads, and then file name, and then script. So that should get loaded as a script. And then we want platform. And merge. So let's send that, see what we get. We get a bad request. Okay, so this has to have something. Probably empty string is bad. So if we send that, that's an okay. So it looks like we've updated it. So now we just have to wait to see if the bot, when the bot logs in. So if we go to our index here, every minute. So while it's doing that, check that we did everything okay. We're just waiting now. If it doesn't work, we can do some debugging. Okay. See if it works. We'll log in as the admin and put in the test credentials. Before I can do anything, it's been a minute. Proxy's on. We're logging in. And it is making the request from when the file's loaded. So yeah, bot didn't trigger the bot. Localhost 8000. I don't need to make that. So the script did get uploaded. Go to sources. It's here. Okay, so what we can do is we can test what's happening here. API port 1001 and start spec. So we'll run our own instance, and we'll just try to recreate what we just did. Where essentially send that, we'll get a new identifier. New token. We'll send that to the correct instance. And we have a new file. Still nothing here, just checking. Okay. And that was okay. So then what we want to do is see when the bot comes and see if something is happening here. No wonder, localhost should be fine. Okay, so we're in the bot and go to this breakpoint. So it didn't, so still nothing on the browser here. And I don't think, okay, so the bot visited it, but it didn't kick off. So let's just try. Make sure we got it right. Let's do admin test. And this time it worked. But the bot, again, and it's been a minute. It's not good. So this time it wants to make a call to localhost. So it loads the script. Okay. So let's stop this. Kill this. What do we want to do? So instead, instead of localhost, let's try a actually registered C name, see if that makes a difference. Localhost should work. It worked when I did this. So am I doing something wrong here? Okay, so we'll use this domain. Use this domain here and see. Make sure you go back a couple there. we'll use this domain, and it gives us this one, and we'll upload this. Send it to 1231. We'll just confirm that. Getting an error, and then it's got to be 8,000. So this is the one that does send it. So there we go. Okay, so it must be that the local host, for some reason, it didn't like it. So, but it is sending it to ourselves. So, okay, so it's working, and it's hitting our endpoint a couple times here. So it seemed to have been the localhost domain. For some reason, it didn't like it, but that's okay. So we'll take that, and we know that it works. So we'll spawn a Docker container, and we'll put the IP 64.327 into our burp here to generate an identifier and token. Also do it here while I'm at it. And 64.327. We have it here just to differentiate. Call it admin. So we'll send it. This is our new payload. Does that change where we're connecting to 327. Okay, so now we're going to wait for admin, and in the meantime, you can just see what you see on the web page. Now, we don't actually know the password, so we won't be able to log in and test, but something came through. There it is. So you take that and decode this. And here's our flag. So that's that. Thank you.